Hello, I'm Amber, the artist behind Bambi Hyde Art Studio, and welcome to my channel. I've wanted to do this video for a while, but like most artists, I procrastinate. Also, I usually look like this. So I created this avatar so I would have no more excuses. I wanted to do a sketchbook tour because for me, it's a great way to get to know an artist. It's like a little peek into their brain. Unfortunately, because I waited so long to do this, I don't really have a current sketchbook to share. Since switching my focus to graphic design, I've mostly been doing digital art, so I created a digital sketchbook to share with y'all today. I hope you enjoy, and let's get started. So most of my work is done on my iPad using Procreate and Affinity Designer. This is for two main reasons. One, I hate Adobe, and two, my desk is like this. And yes, that is a rocking chair. It's a work in progress. So this is the cover of the sketchbook. I made this using Apple Keynote just on my iPad, like everything. When I have a physical sketchbook, I decorate the cover with stickers. So I've done the same here. Just took little pieces of my digital art. The two people with the mask is actually traditional art. I made it using paint markers. Just clipped out the background, put them on there, added shadows, make it look cute. So this first one is an image from my old business card. It's me as a demon and my dog Jimmy as a little demon. And this design is also where the avatar came from. This is a little thank you gift that I used to have for my shop when it was open. Again, just me as an anime character, Jimmy as a little demon dog. And then this is my old logo. See a theme going here, me and Jimmy together as demons. I'm really inspired by Japanese art, so that's where a lot of this came from. And then I based his necklace, Jimmy's part, on the necklace that Inuyasha wears because I'm a weeb and I love that show. All right. This is two sketches I did for when I wanted to paint the side of my computer. I was really into JoJo's, as you can see. So I did like a JoJo bunny girl and then like a Bruno bunny girl. These are really old. And then this is some of the art that I had on my Ko-Fi. It's still up. I have not updated it in a while. But it is on my to-do list to do. I had like a sticker club and then like a zine and comic club, which I do want to bring back, but it was a lot of work. So probably not while I'm still in school. And then this is some of the art that I did this summer, an assignment for my DMA2 class. We had to make a little interactive story using Twine, and it is published on H. And then there's the website for it. It's called Date with Penelope. Okay, this is another gift. It was the first one I've done to announce the opening of my art shop, which is closed for right now. But I had a lot of fun with this one. It took a lot of layers and a lot of work. It was done all in Procreate, but I'm really proud of the way it turned out. This is a sketch. It's a digital painting based on a sketch that was based on an old Sony camera ad that I saw on Pinterest. And then these flowers with the eyes will appear again later because I really like that element of it. And then this is another digital painting based on a sketch that I did that was based on some Pinterest art that I saw. I think it might have been AI actually. So I don't feel bad about using it. And then I just added a little koi fish because I like drawing koi fish and Pisces, so it just kind of fit. And then these are two coloring pages. I at one point had wanted to do a coloring book and then I just never finished it. But I really like the Match My Freak one. That was probably my favorite. Here are some digital sketches. The one on the left is anatomy studies that I got from Line of Action. And then on the right is me playing around with the Retro Supply Company Rizzo brushes. I love those brushes. And then I used them to do a little painting of Jimmy to practice, like layering the colors and all of that. These are more anatomy sketches that I had to do for my digital illustration class. They showed me that I really suck at anatomy. I am great at portraits, but anything below the shoulders and I get confused. This is a life drawing that I had to do also for the digital illustration class. It's me in bed with my iPad. Jimmy's on my legs. He's that little lump right there on the bed. And then that's my boyfriend at the computer in our very messy room. It's another life study I had to do for that class. Jimmy sleeping on the couch in the sun like he always is. Here is another sketch also for the digital illustration class. It's one of my little Funko Pops that I have of Superman. Even though I'm a Batman girly, I love Batman, but I was excited for the new Superman movie, so I did him instead. And then this is a album art cover that I did for my Illustration 2 class. It's for the album Under Heaven, Over Hell. Everything is hand lettered, including the Florence and the Machine logo at the bottom. And it just has like a bunch of different elements that I like to include in my work. I love Florence and the Machine. They are one of my favorite bands. And so for the cover album, I just went with like what inspires me when I'm like listening to their music and like creating. So you have the koi fish, the girl in the mask with horns, the stretched out ears, the tentacles as like little horns. I thought that'd be really cute. She's like a statue. I was going through a phase, but I still really like this one. And then these are some posters that I did for one of my graphic design classes. This is my first time really using photos. I'm not the greatest at photo editing, so this was my attempt at that. On top, you have just photos and text, and then on the bottom, it was me trying to bring in my illustration skills into it, and I really like how some of them turned out. I definitely need to work on using photos in my graphic design more. And then this is a logo assignment that we had to do. It was just like a quick one. We would interview one of the other classmates and then had to make a personal logo for them. And so this was for my friend Yvette. She has like bright red hair and she's like super cool and like into photography and all this stuff. And so this was like her personal logo that I made. And I really like the way the bottom right one turned out because it's just so good. Like patting myself on the back. That one's so good. And then this was a environment background assignment for the digital illustration class. And it's for my character Rowan. It's like her desk and she's this witch with plant powers. And so it's like her desk. I used some of my own sketches to fill in her sketchbook because I didn't want to redo that. Like, I was already really behind with this because I wasn't happy with it, redid it a bunch, but now I'm happy with it, especially like the way the light is coming in. I discovered the overlay layer with this class, and definitely going to see that again a lot. This is a drawing that I did for typography. We had to do a recipe layout. This was the illustration that I used. So the recipe I chose was for a rosemary fig whiskey sour. And so I drew some figs, drew the drink, and then I really liked the way this came out, especially like on such short notice. I think I did this in like a day or two. Like I really procrastinated in that class. But in my defense, I was also taking digital illustration and then a branding class along with this class, and then 2 art history classes at the same time. Like it was a lot. Like that semester kicked my ass, I'm not even gonna lie. This is things that I've done for my DMA 2 class that I've taken over the summer. I did a pixel art based on one of my old paintings that I made for like Halloween decoration for my house. The little strawberry is the Oni Berry logo. It's owned by, what's her name? Audra Claire. She's one of my favorite artists. And so I just had to trace over, vectorize. It was done in Affinity Designer. And then the little girl with the tattoo sniffing a flower, also done in Affinity Designer. And then he actually wanted the Adobe Illustrator file. So to do that, I had to trick Illustrator into thinking that my designer file was an Illustrator file, but it did work and I got a good grade on it. Okay, so this was also for the typography class. We had to do graphic props. And so I did a trading card for this character, Aveda Jupiter. She's from this book called Heroine Complex by Sarah Kuhn. It's a really good book. It's a series. I think there's like 3 or 4 books in the series. And then, so I just did like a little trading card, also done kind of last minute, all done in Procreate. I really like the way the hair turned out. I might redo this one and pick like a better font, but there's only so many fonts you can use in Procreate. So this is a print that I made based on the Fruit Loops assignment that I had to do for another graphic design class. We had to redesign the cereal box based on one of the designers that we did graphic design history report on. And I chose, what was her name? It was like Beth McLean. And yeah, so she was from the Fillmore era, like 60s, San Francisco, all those like groovy posters. And I've always really been into that style. I love hand lettering. So this was all done in Affinity Designer, except for the portrait of the girl. I actually did that in Procreate and then brought it into Affinity to color it. And then these are some flyers I've done for my friend's band. They're awesome. If you live in Long Beach, totally check them out. These are 2 more flyers that I have done for that band. I love the way these turned out. He has this like mad scientist character, and so I just kind of redraw him for the flyers. And then for the Christmas one, most of the elements I actually got from Envato, and I just drew the little Santa guy and like rearranged everything. But the little ornaments and the wreath, I didn't actually draw. I just got those online. This is the full box that I had to do for that assignment where the little print came from. Oh, her name was Bonnie McLean, my bad. And yeah, so she's on the back of the box, little short history about her. You can see like the inspiration that I had. I had the current Fruit Loops box, vintage one of her posters on the side. And yeah, it was a lot of pen tool. It was so much pen tool, but I am really proud of the way that this turned out. And now, yeah, little portrait of a girl with the toucan mask. I chose to do a portrait because Bonnie used a lot of people in her posters. So I wanted to do that. And then with the way that I drew the lines, they actually like match up on the bottom. That took a lot of effort and I was really proud of that, and no one noticed. For that same class, I had to do a beverage based on a music group. So I chose Soul and Pimp Sessions. They're a Japanese jazz band. And instead of doing like a sake or something like that, I decided to do a mezcal. It made sense at the time. This is the box for that. On the front, you have the little like agave goddess, the logo, which I did in like a graffiti kind of style. On one side, you have like a paloma, and then on the other side, you have a Naked and Famous, which are 2 drinks that you can do with mezcal. I did most of these elements in Procreate and then brought them into Affinity Designer. And yeah, I'm really proud of it. Back of the box has like a little bit of information about them, and then you can see the Japanese art influence in the way that the drinks kind of spill out like waves. Really, really proud of this. And then here is the label for that. Wanted to keep it kind of simple. I have these repeating elements of like a star and then like a lime wedge in the shape of a moon. Yeah, I just wanted to keep it kind of simple, have a hand-drawn artisanal look to go with it. The colors I chose were like this lime green, pink, purple, and then black, just give like a party vibe because the band is like very upbeat and like they call their sound like death jazz, which is kind of why she has the skull makeup on, and then also the mezcal coming from Mexico. So it kind of made sense for both of those. Okay, so another thing I want to show you guys is the Flannel Moon Farms brand guide that I did last semester. I'm really proud of it. So the assignment was to create a brand from scratch. And I chose to make like a little business for my character, Rowan, the witch. So you have like the logo here with the little flower with the eye inside, because it's a recurring theme in my art. These flowers were copied from that digital painting from the Sony ad. The mood board, I wanted to go, kind of moody, just really witchy, but classy vibes. And then here are my sketches for this, rough drafts for the logo, my final logo, and then the two main colors, typography, colors, business cards. I made a little wallpaper out of the flower, and then like a little moth with moons on it. These were the final posters that I did for that assignment. I ended up making some really quick art in Procreate using these oil pastel brushes that I found online, and I really like them. I think they fit the mood better than the photographs did. And the flowers in the apron on the right one actually became a recurring element in later art. Here are wallpapers that I've done. Same wallpaper, just different colorways to use. I really had fun with that. The assets, the little flower borders, flowers, put it on an apron, put it on a shopping bag. I love this shopping bag. I think it came out really great. All of these elements were done in Affinity Designer. And then little totes, gift card, tote bag, this hoodie, also done in Affinity Designer, or I might have done this one in Infinity Photo. I think it was done with Infinity Photo. Candles, same wallpaper, same oil pastel flowers at the bottom, same with the website page. Super simple, was running out of time. The storefront was done in Procreate. And then I also used the flowers as like a mural that they could do on the storefront. And then a delivery truck that I did for my digital illustration class. And it was done in Affinity Designer also. Okay, and then this is the PDF final project for my digital illustration class. The project is called Snapdragon. It's going to be a comic about Rowan, the plant witch, and her little demon dog that she finds, which is based on Jimmy. Some of the inspiration for the illustrations, the thumbnail for the first one, which was going to be the cover for the book, ended up going with the middle one. And then these are thumbnails for what would be like a sample comic book page in it. And then I ended up going for like the first one on this. And then the third one is going to be like a chapter introduction page that you kind of see on like manga and like longer graphic novels, or like when they like bind up the single issues into like a volume. And so that's what I wanted to go for. Ended up going for the first one, but I might still use the last two when I actually finish the project. And then here is the cover. It was done in Procreate and then finished in Infinity Designer to give it the embossing on the flowers, and then like the book, the leather texture. And it's just like drawn with the flower with the eye, and then she's like melting into the Snapdragon logo. I really like drips. I like flowers. I like hand lettering. And then the second illustration is the comic page. So this is where she brings Jimmy home. And he's a cute little dog, making him a collar, and then close-up of the collar. And then this foreground illustration is actually based on a picture that I took of me and my dog, Jimmy. The third illustration would be the chapter 2 introduction, lazy afternoon. Rowan in bed with Jimmy, and he changes sides because my own dog feels like he changes sides. Like sometimes he can just disappear, like he's not even there, and then sometimes he takes up the entire bed. And so that is why he kind of stretches out, especially when I'm working on something. Then he seems to really want to take up as much space as possible. And then again, illustration was done in Procreate, finished off in Affinity Designer with the embossing and the typography. All right, well, thank you for watching. I hope to share more of my art with y'all in the future. And that's it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.